Hi, this is Dina, and I am angry. So today there was that the doctors show, which a nice little show, sort of, but they had the episode about warning people about gabapentin on it. But here's the problem: they're only saying that the problems, and they name some of the problems, the withdrawals and all the side effects, but they're only ascribing it to addicts, and that just pisses me off. It is not just addicts that are suffering the problem. It does not matter if I am shooting up speed balls or heroin balls or whatever it's called down on Burnside in Portland, or if I'm getting it from my nice cushy doctor in the burbs. It doesn't matter. A central nervous system is a central nervous system, and it will do the same thing to anybody's central nervous system, no matter who they are. So when I went and read the comments on the page about everybody's different, no, I'm sorry, toots. Not everybody's central nervous system is that different. We all need our central nervous system. And here is what they do. I took the time to write down all 15 functions of the central nervous system. And this is what the doctor does. When these 15 functions stop functioning properly, your doctor will not ascribe it to gabapentin. He might even genuinely be puzzled because he hasn't taken the time to learn this. And you know what? I figured this out when I was half brain damaged still. Well, I still have brain damage from 16 years of gabapentin and Neurontin. And I figured it out. This is not rocket science. This is the 15 central nervous excuse me, I have aphasia. I lose my words still. 2 years off. Central nervous system functions. This is what they do. And if you've had any of these problems, and you're on gabapentin, and you didn't have it before gabapentin, I'm bad at math, and I can do that math. Okay, first function of the central nervous system, what it controls. Thought. Our thought processes. Interestingly, many people develop suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideation in their thoughts on gabapentin or Lyrica. Elaboration of conscious. I know what that is, but I can't explain it back to you now because I have aphasia. I will have to elaborate on that one later. Swallowing. Do you have trouble swallowing? When I got off of gabapentin, I couldn't swallow anymore. I had to eat soft food that fell out of my mouth. Swallowing. Mastication. That which is chewing. Do you have trouble chewing your food? 5, tongue control. Do you have any trouble controlling your tongue? Is it moving your mouth and you can't control it ever? Face control. Do you have trouble controlling your face? It does twitches or it does all kinds of different things. Hand control. Do you have trouble controlling your hands now? I have a movement disorder now because of damage to my central nervous system because I can't stop focal hand dystonia. Neurontin induced. I was on it 2 weeks and the doctor told me it can't be related to the Neurontin bullshit. It was too. Sorry, Dr. Turbo. It certainly was. Hand control. Hand control. Arm control. Does anybody have trouble moving their limbs? Yes. Body control. Do you have trouble walking? Do you fall down when you walk? That's ataxia. Like you walk like you're drunk. That can be, if you didn't have it before and you had it after you took gabapentin, it's a side effect. Leg control. Do you have trouble controlling your legs? Did they put you on it for restless leg syndrome and your legs got worse? Because I hear that in my group with 1,000 people a lot. Hearing. Did your hearing become worse? By the time I was off of gabapentin, I was almost deaf because it suppresses the central nervous system. The otic nerves are controlled by the central nervous system. Speech. How about your speech? Is your speech affected? Do you have aphasia? You lose your words? 2 years off of it, I still lose my words. Or I can think of them, but I cannot get them out. That is aphasia. That's brain damage, and it will probably never go away now. Visual and auditory recollection. Has your memory been affected on gabapentin or Lyrica? I'm just going to assume when I say gabapentin that y'all know Lyrica is worse. Lyrica is turbocharged gabapentin. What gabapentin can do, Lyrica can do in tap shoes around it. It's stronger. Visual and auditory recollection. Do you have any memory? 2 years off, my memory is still gone. I have to write notes for everything. Everything. Oh, here's my favorite. Perceptual judgment. Do you make stupid choices on gabapentin? Do you do things that you never in a million years would have dreamed of doing because you have no impulse control, and you don't say why, you say why not. I did things in my late 40s that I never even would have done as a teenager. I was a wild, I fell off I climbed the entire crazy tree and hit every branch on the way down. I was like a Lifetime movie chick crazy. That medication caused all of that, because remember, go back to thought. Your thought processes are not normal. It will turn you from the most mild-mannered, sweetest person into somebody you don't even know. I hear this 24/7. I experienced it. I know this is true. Here's the 15th thing the central nervous system controls: vision. Has your vision been affected while on gabapentin? Okay, let me tie all this together for you now. If you go to your doctor and say, I'm having arm control trouble, something's happening with my arms, they're going to try and, or they'll tell you they don't know why it's happening, or they'll look for a reason and they won't find it, but generally they won't ascribe it to the real reason, the gabapentin, any of these. Your hearing, they won't ascribe it to the gabapentin, but here's what doctors are failing to understand. Anything, because gabapentin works on the central nervous system by tamping down the electrical signals that go from the synapses to the neurons in your brain, you are tamping down the electrical system in your entire brain. And it just doesn't it just doesn't seek out and target the pain receptors. It's not like the sperm going for the egg. It targets the entire central nervous system, not just the pain parts, and therefore every single function can be affected. Every single one. And here's something else that I have not met a doctor yet who gets this. The lower the dose of gabapentin, the stronger the side effects. I was started out for migraines on the highest dose there was, 3,600 milligrams. They dropped it after 12 years, and that was when my side effects that I refer to as dementia or Alzheimer's, because by the time I got off, I was exactly like a mid to late stage Alzheimer's patient. Side effects began. After I'd been on it 12 years, when the dose was lowered, the lower the dose, the stronger the side effects. I also hear from people all the time, well, I'm on a low dose. Well, that's not going to save you. I have met people who were on it 4 months who were as sick as I was right at the end. And then doctors cold turkey their patients off of it. Your entire neuronal pathways of your brain have been rewired. You cannot just go off with a regular taper. It takes a long, slow time for the brain to adjust back, or it thrusts it into shock. Or you know what happens? Patients experience so much pain and so much discomfort, they end up right back on it with the improper tapering information, which is, for the part of the pharmaceutical manufacturer, that's diabolically Machiavellian. I mean, they're setting you up, if they take you off too fast, to end up right back on it, or on something stronger. So when I went and read those comments, today, I had to say something, and I know how to get the word out. I'm a big mouth. I advocated for missing people for a long time, and I am applying the same big mouth principles of getting the word out there that I am for missing persons, that I am to gabapentin now, because that is how I am paying back the fact that I'm even alive, because my neighbor saved my life when she figured out what the doctors had missed for 16 years. That is shameful. And so when I went on there and saw these people, it affects everybody differently. Sorry, Toots. No, it does not. Everybody pretty much has the same central nervous system, and it all is used for the same things. And there was something else I just had to say about that too. Oh, it's like arsenic. You can be poisoned with arsenic for years, and it won't necessarily kill you right away. You might be uncomfortable, but it will not kill you right away. But it will catch up with you in the end. And that is gabapentin. And the symptoms the side effects you are experiencing will not be ascribed to the gabapentin. Even better yet, the doctor will diagnose you with a new with something else. And then you get medication for that too. What a win-win for Big Pharma. I mean, I have math challenged now.
I've lost language skills. I used to be able to speak Russian. I have brain damage. I will never get those things back. But my mouth is still big enough to warn people about this. Anything that can, and here's something else. When it is tamping down the electrical signals, it's called, gabapentin is also called a voltage inhibiting drug. And so when you feel weird sparks in your head, and when you feel like there's a burning brick in your head, or that your head's on fire, that's something to do with the electrical system. And guess what? I read this all the time, but right now I can't even think, because that's aphasia. I have lost that ability to always recall back what I have learned. That is permanent damage from gabapentin and Neurontin. And like, there's something else I had to say about this drug that people do not understand. And, you know, I don't even argue with them anymore. I just put it out there and I say it like it is. And doctors don't understand how it works, or they're not taking the time to learn. But any single thing that can be affected by the central nervous system, gabapentin will affect, and you won't even know it, because your doctor will tell you it's not the gabapentin, it's not the Neurontin, it's not the Lyrica. Yeah, sorry, Dr. Turbo, it is. So I just had to get this off my chest. I have something else to say, and it just keeps leaving my head, though. I can't remember what it is, but I hope I got all the salient points across now. So I can't even remember how to pronounce that word anymore. And 2 years off, but you know what? My mouth is still big enough to warn people. So anyway, if you're on gabapentin and you're on or Lyrica or Neurontin or pregabalin, these are the real side effects of it. It's connected to the central nervous system, and if you have any of these 15 functions that have gone haywire, and it began after you started taking gabapentin or Neurontin or Lyrica or pregabalin, I'm not even smart like I was, and I can figure that out. Obviously, it's related. And again, your doctor will tell you that it can't be. I mean, if I had a quarter for every person that joined my group and said, the doctor said it's not related to that. Sorry, it is. We have all the information about it. That's what's happening. The brain is being artificially, the central nervous system is being artificially suppressed and depressed, which also induces depression in most people. Oh, but that's a win-win for doctors, because then they get to prescribe you antidepressants. You have to come at this from the point that doctors are now no more than glorified drug reps. That's all they are. I still remember when my own doctor put me on it, he said, the drug rep was telling me from Pfizer how great it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure he was. So, you know what? 18 years since that began, people are suffering. People are suffering permanent damage all over the world from it. And I'm not going to stop talking about it. And I don't even care that I'm cognitively impaired and I cannot get the words out. I will trot my cognitive impairment out and carry it like my Chanel purse if I have to. I don't care. I'm going to keep talking about this drug. That's all I had to say, and I just had to get that out, and I feel better now. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful New Year. I feel like it's going to be a great year. I do. I just do. So, you know, one person can make a difference, and everybody should try. That was on a plaque in my home when I grew up, and I believe that. I could not have gone off this drug and not warned other people. It would have been morally wrong for me not to do that, because, you know, I am very grateful that I'm alive. Brain damage, central nervous damage, movement disordered, you know, I've got akathisia, or akathisia, I have, you know, some tardive dyskinesia, which, you know, I don't care. I'm just grateful to be alive, and I don't want anybody else to suffer like I have because of these damn drugs. It's not helping anyone but filling the coffers of Pfizer and Park Davis. And by the way, Park Davis is owned by Pfizer. Okay, Happy New Year. Bye. Bye, everyone.